Chapter 2, Blood Relatives. The next night, after you've begun your new life at Wincroft Manor, you're in your bedroom with your lady's maid, Effie, preparing for your first formal dinner with the rest of the Somerset family. While you try to focus on the task at hand, Amelia's letter and cry for help weigh heavily on your mind. This dinner is a perfect chance to talk to everyone who knew Amelia here. Maybe I can find out what happened to her. Miss Hayes, I was asking if you've been finding your way around the manor all right. Oh, sorry, Effie, I'm a little distracted. Well, no wonder. Tonight you'll be meeting the Viscount and Viscountess. You must be terrified. Although it's really the Dowager Viscountess you'll need to watch out for. That's good to know. Anyone else I should keep in mind? Well, there's cousin Lady Gemma, but I think you'll find a kindred spirit in her. Tell me more about the Dowager Viscountess. She's certainly the most traditional of the family, and she doesn't mince words, so I'd suggest readying yourself for questioning. It sounds like she's an intimidating woman. Was Amelia afraid of her? I don't know, miss. I've always considered her ladyship a strong matriarch in the family, not a cruel one. Besides, it's not my place to speak ill of the family. What about Lady Gemma, you mentioned? She's a dowager duchess, known to speak her mind. Some people consider her controversial, but I think she's spirited and amusing. I expect you'll take a shine to each other. Effie ushers you over to the vanity table to prep your hair, shoes, and accessories for the dinner. Effie, I know that the night of Amelia's death, she had been attending a debutante ball in the city. That's true, ma'am. She was in Wincroft in the morning. Then we travelled to London to stay with the family townhouse for the party. May I ask... Who stayed in the townhouse? Mr. Francis and the whole family. Some of the servants went too, to make sure their London stay was comfortable. Why do you ask, miss? Does this have anything to do with the letter she left you? To be honest, I'm worried that someone might have heard her. In her letter, she hinted that someone was after her. I'm determined to know who and why. Hurt her as in, you know, oh my. To be completely frank with you, ma'am. She pauses, combing her hair and glances both ways before speaking, as though making sure no one is listening. I've had similar suspicions about Amelia's death as well. You have? I hope you'll forgive me, miss, but it is all very unusual. The way she died, I felt there was something weighing heavily on her mind, but she would not say. Suffice it to say, should you need assistance with anything at all, I'm eager to help. Thank you, Effie. In that case, would you mind telling me what you and Mr. Francis have been discussing? Nothing that should trouble you, miss. A private matter for Mr. Francis. I see. Oh, don't be mad, miss. I wouldn't do anything to hurt you or Miss Amelia. It's just... You're in a bind because he's your employer and told you not to talk about it. Exactly, miss. Thank you for understanding. Now, we must give some thought to what you'll wear tonight, and I have the perfect idea. She walks to the armoire and returns with a luscious gown of black and emerald green. This is the same dress that Amelia wore the night that she and Francis announced their engagement. If anyone at the dinner has a guilty conscience, maybe seeing it again will provoke them to say something. Or try and take you out too, because all yours are a reminder of them failing. Effie, you're brilliant. I'm glad we're on the same side. She helps you into it and guides you to the floor-length mirror. Or diamond choice. Okay, so this is diamond choice. And the other one is evening attire. I'm sure I'll shock them, but this is the best way to learn more about what happened. Wonderful. Besides, you look stunning. You take one look at yourself in the mirror, drawing a deep breath. Down to the wolves, I suppose. Now I can use this dinner to get to know all the suspects. I'll need to win their approval to get them to open up to me. You descend the staircase, crossing the great hall to enter the drawing room. Beside the fireplace, the family enjoys pre-drink drinks, or dinner drinks. There you are, Miss Hayes. Francis takes in your gown and visibly swallows, his eyes wide. He composes himself, clearing his throat. I mean to say that you're, looking lovely, Miss Hayes. Thank you, Francis. You watch his expression carefully before turning to address the others. John approaches, a glass of sherry in his hands. You look dapper. Glad to see you're joining the tradition of trussing ourselves up like stuffed geese for our evening meal. You're one to talk. You look quite dapper in your formal wear. Is that so? Well, I don't mean to make a habit of it, so enjoy it while you can. Mother, father, grandmother, may I present to you Miss Lillian Hayes? Miss Hayes, a pleasure to have you with us. I'm Theodore Somerset, the Viscount of Ashbourne. It is a pleasure to be your guest, Lord Ashbourne. And I am Blythe Somerset, the Viscountess. And this is Theodore's mother, the Dowager Viscountess of Ashbourne. You curtsy deeply before the Dowager.
Good of you to arrive on time, Miss Hayes, unlike some discourteous souls.
Our cousin, Lady Gemma, the Dowager Duchess, is running late, but she always did march to the beat of her own drum.
The drum of those raucous suffragettes, more like.
Oh, she looks like a fun woman at a party. Now, Mother, no need to get into all that. I want to hear more about Miss Hayes here. The Viscountess' eyes travel over your evening gown, and you think you can see her eyes getting misty. My, but you're a heavenly picture in that attire. You remind me so much of your sister, but in the most heartwarming way.
I don't care much for heartwarming, but I'm pleased to see that at least some Americans have sartorial sense.
Thank you very kindly, my ladies. We were terribly sorry we could not make the journey to attend your sister's funeral in America, but we held a small ceremony here. We brought the finest cemetery plot, and Wincroft is a symbolic place to visit her, but we wanted her to rest with her family in New York. You are family, too. The Viscountess smiles warmly, and the Dowager nods her approval. We were blessed to make this partnership with your family. Your marriage to Francis can only deepen it. Well, let us not dwell on such sorrow.
Come, have a seat with us, dear. Let us get to know you better.
No, I never liked those words. Big bad wolf.
Besides, in just 3 months, at the end of the summer, you'll be wed on the same day Amelia was meant to.
You take a seat, and the Dowager leans toward you, flinty-eyed.
We all know your father and his electric power industrialists.
Yes, his company provides power to textile factories, cotton mills, and the like.
Yes, but on the personal side, I understand your family is one of those most modern ones whose parents divorce all willy-nilly.
Hardly willy-nilly. My father and Amelia's mother divorced when she was a baby. Then, after my mother died, he remarried Delia.
4 children and 3 wives. How very American.
But, my lady, sometimes divorce is for the best. I know there's still scandal attached to it, but it can be beneficial to families to end things before they get worse. Amelia's mother is no longer part of our family, but we still remain on good terms, and everyone is much better off than they were. Besides, from the whole process I gained such a wonderful half-sister. The Dowager Viscountess raises her eyebrows appraisingly.
I'll put that away. I suppose a divorce almost sounds strategic, predicting your battles in advance and obviating them.
Exactly.
And how are things now? As I understand it, your father has very little time for you.
My father is busy because he often travels for work. He has a business all over the East Coast to attend to, so his work often takes him away.
Oh, he cannot trust his subordinates to tend to it for him? That sounds like a poorly managed business to my mind.
Tell that to Elon Musk. I've always thought he must be a great businessman to have the fortunes he's had.
Or else he's been very lucky.
You notice John hovering nearby as the Dowager grills you, a tiny smirk on his face. He gives you an approving nod. Looks like I'm impressing the Dowager so far. Ladies and gentlemen, Her Grace, the Dowager Duchess has arrived. The Viscount and Viscountess swiftly stand as if a vicious woman around her 30s bustles into the drawing room. You feel the energy of the room crackle as she enters. Okay. She's wearing a swinger dress. Not that kind of swinger, people. Stop it. Like, this is like 1900s. It's different.
Alas, dear Gemma, I never thought I'd see the day when an American would upstage you in manners. But perhaps I've been too generous.
Might I introduce you to Miss Lillian Hayes? You most certainly may. Lady Gemma, it's lovely to make your acquaintance. I see we can flirt with her. Lady Gemma rolls her eyes good-naturedly. Please, none of that stiff nonsense, and don't even think of calling me Your Grace. I don't care what these fuddy-duds tells you. Lady Gemma looks you over appraisingly, dark eyes glinting with mischief. They did not warn me that we were going to have such a lovely guest. I might have made more of an effort to arrive on time. I'm flattered that you would alter your schedule for the likes of me. It does not seem as though she recognizes the dress. Perhaps she wasn't present the night Amelia announced her engagement. Or didn't care. Seriously. I admit I've been looking forward to getting acquainted. I'm curious about the descriptions I've heard of you. Only good things, I hope. Only interesting things, which is even better. I apologize if this is too forward, but you're quite young to be a dowager. I'm very sorry for your loss. Gemma blinks a moment. I'm not used to people bringing up my husband's death so early on, it being against social protocol and all. But perhaps you're not like the others I've met. Not like the other people? I'm fairly certain I'm not. I have something of a lack of respect for convention. Then, that is something we share in common. If you need a distraction during these times, you can count on me, wine, mischief, and conversation. I've been working hard to try and breathe some life into this dusty old estate of ours. Perhaps people together, it'll be an easier feat. Well, that's the best proposition I've heard all weekend. Ding, ding, ding. Banana phone. It's dinner time. The butler subtly notions to the Viscountess, who nods in affirmation. Everyone, shall we go in? What if I say no? Does that hold everybody up? As everyone begins to enter, you linger for a moment, noticing that Francis has pulled Effie aside for a quiet discussion. Effie, have I received any correspondence of late? None that I'm aware of, sir. Not since this morning. Blast! It's been days. Why? Is there something you're waiting for? Francis looks up sharply, suddenly suspicious. Forgive me, Effie, but I must ask you to remember your station and afford me my privacy. Of course, sir. Francis brushes past you to enter the dining room. You exchange a glance with Effie and hurry over, speaking in whispers. Effie, what was that about? I don't know, miss. Listen, I'll pull out your nails one at a time. It did seem a bit fishy, though. Now, then this is the perfect opportunity. He was the last person with Amelia when she died. He says he loved her, but did he really? Do you think you would be able to investigate the room, his room, while we're occupied with dinner? Maybe Amelia left something there. Of course, ma'am. What would you have me do? Play as Effie to search Francis's room for clues about Amelia's death. Let's go. Search his room for anything strange or misplaced. It could be a notebook or a letter, anything suspicious. Yes, Miss Hayes, I'll do my best not to get caught. Well, that throws out the fact that she might be anyone of suspicion, because we're literally playing as her. Effie hurries away. And congratulations, Pixelberry, you've now lost 10 points. Now playing as Effie. You creep through the upstairs gallery, passing countless portraits of various Somersets through the history of your way towards Mr. Francis's room. In case we needed to be reminded of which home we're in, my new lady needs my help. I just hope I don't get caught. Suddenly you hear someone coming around the corner and duck behind a suit of armor. Even though we literally work here, I'm a valet, and I'm sure of it. The footman's footsteps eventually fade, and you dart back out. That was close. You literally work here. You slip through Mr. Francis's bedroom door, closing the door behind you with a soft click. You take a deep breath as you scan the room. Pretty. Except for the wallpaper. But then again, it's like, what, 1900s? Now, where should I look first? I'll check the books and drawers. You pull open each drawer, but nothing is hidden beneath the socks and linens. Next, you check the stack of books on the top of the drawer and find a folded piece of paper tucked inside one. What's in here? A list of names and dates. Wait. These are merely the names and birthdays of the staff members' children. Rather sweet of him, though, isn't it? Next, you check the desk drawers and find a stack of folded-up correspondence. Aha! Looks like it's from Mr. John. Francis, please do not feel at fault for my hesitance to return. I'm glad to hear you'll be settled and married soon. You shuffle in the next piece of paper, an unfinished letter from Mr. Francis addressed to Mr. John. John, be that as it may, this is my duty. We cannot all wander so freely in search of ourselves. The poor brothers seem envious of one another's stations, aren't we all? Good sirs. Hands on your hips, you survey the bedroom as your gaze falls to the bedspread. You notice 2 pillows aren't aligned properly. It's quite slovenly work. The chambermaids would never leave it like that. You hesitantly pull back the pillow on the spare side, the side that would have been a Miss Amelia's had they been married. Underneath the pillow, you spot a leather-bound notebook. Let's see what this is. You turn the page, or through the pages, pausing to study a few of the lines written within. Oh my, what's this? My dearest Amelia, though we may not have chosen our paths, I hope in time you will feel a heart bloom along it as I have felt mine. Another entry contained a few scratched-out lines of poetry. Other pages contain what appears to be rough drafts of letters. Though I am only away for a few short days, I already find myself missing your laughter, smile, as I conduct my business in London. On another page, you find a sketch folded between the pages. You unroll it to find a rather risque image. Oh, he was like Leonardo DiCaprio, painting. Draw me like one of your French girls. No more, I'll be punished. Oh, shut up. Fascinated despite yourself, you turn the next few pages to see similar sketches of Amelia in nightgowns, smiling demurely at the artist. Did she pose for him, or are these visualizations? Who cares? They're actually really well done. You put everything back where you found it and bite your lip, deep in thought. It seems to me Mr. Francis truly loved her. They were to be wed. His heart weeps for her. He might not have known how to show his affections, but these are so tender. No wonder he's been so distant to Miss Lillian. She probably reminds him too much of her sister. Peals of laughter from far off in the manor remind you that you are on borrowed time. You hastily check that everything is in place to exit the room. No sooner do you turn the corner, however, you run into Miss Watmore, the housekeeper. Miss Annesley, what are you doing in this wing at this time? Miss Watmore, I was looking for you. You were? What on earth for, girl? I was trying to find fresh clothes, brush for Miss Lillian. I'm afraid the bristles on my old one are starting to go. And I thought you got a new one not a week before Miss Amelia passed. Rest her sinful soul. Really? I'll have one sent up to Mr. Lillian's room. Just get back to your duties. Thank you, ma'am. Miss Watmore bustles off, and you catch your breath by the staircase. I was too close. I'll have to wait until later to let Miss Hayes know what I found. Now, playing as Lillian, you look around in admiration at the sumptuous dining room. I hope our guest of honor will enjoy the spread tonight. I'm confident I will. John sits opposite you, while Lady Gemma leans towards you conspiratorially. Oh, good, you're beside me. This way I can give you all the handy gossip. A fleet of servants file into the dining room all at once, each holding a plate of the first course. Rack of pork, how decadent. The meal looks delicious, but you remember John's instructions from the tour of the gardens and wait patiently for the Viscountess to take a bite first. Let us enjoy this feast, then, shall we? She carefully cuts off a piece of her dish and savors it. After an approving nod from her, and everyone else picks up your utensils. Taking the tour with John prepared you well. As you work your way through your meal, Gemma chatters away beside you. I'd like to hear about America. I know the suffragette movement is quite vibrant there. I have a question. Am I the only one who just likes to eat? Like, you can talk before dinner, you can talk after dinner. But shut the f up and eat! I'm serious. Oh my god, I'm serious. I just like quiet. Like, I like to enjoy my meal. I like to think about, you know, the taste of it. And I don't know, I never understood why people just want to talk and talk and talk and talk during dinner. I don't know, someone explain it to me. Seriously, you guys are like, I live vicariously through you, and I want to know your thoughts, that's why I ask. Oh, dear. Now we've set Lady Gemma off. I'm not personally involved, but I read the newspaper avidly. How unusual, Miss Hayes. You're quite the modern American woman, aren't you? I like to stay informed. Even if I'm not directly involved in my family's business, I like to understand the wider world and economy and such. You don't find it a waste of your time? No, it's called educating yourself. You should try it sometime. I second that notion. Not at all. I think it keeps my mind sharp. A well-informed young woman, are you? Honestly, you remind me a bit of Victoria. He stops himself with an intake of breath, and you look around the table, see John look up sharply. Who's Victoria? Lord Ashburn clears his throat and shakes his head. It's probably best not to discuss at the dinner table. In any case, I'm glad to hear, Miss Hayes, that you read the news and do not sit and let the world pass you by. Gemma nods avidly and continues to chat at your right. I should so love to visit New York. My husband promised to take me, but then he promised Minnie. Gemma trails off as you catch the sight of the Viscountess, turning from Frances at her right to speak to the Dowager at her left. If you unlocked special etiquette, the correct answer will be marked with an icon. I mean, or you could just remember to turn to the Viscountess when people talk, whether... You remember what you learned from John and nod to Gemma, and then turn towards the Viscount. He smiles. Well done, Miss Hayes. It's very important that we all take our lead from my wife as hostess. Thank you, my lord. I'm glad I can keep up. Yes, good job having proper dining etiquette. Congratulations, you know how to wipe your ass. From the corner of your eye, you notice the Dowager Viscountess nodding at you in approval as well. Lord Ashburn, if you don't mind me asking, how did you personally get on with Amelia? Oh, she was a lovely young lady, very kind, thoughtful to my mind, but I'm sure you already knew that about her. I'm glad you're able to make use of her gown. Better that than left in a dark drawer, never to see the light of day. That was exactly my thought. In fact, that reminds me. He beckons at the butler to make a request, and a moment later a footman comes in to hand something to the Viscount. The night she and Frances announced their engagement, Amelia wore this. Amelia's locket. I recognize this. When you open it, there's a picture of a tree inside, commemorating your favorite tree in New York Central Park. We haven't known what to do with it since she passed. Perhaps you should keep it in her memory. Thank you so much, my lord. I am honored and will treasure it on her account. You look out over the locket again. A memory of the tree stirring deep inside you, and from when you were 6 and Amelia was 12. New York, 1900. Amelia, wait for me. You're too fast. Amelia laughs as she darts away from the family picnic in Central Park. You can't catch me! She runs towards a big oak tree standing on its own in the park and jumps, trying to catch hold of a branch overhead.
Amelia, what are you doing? Ladies don't climb trees.
Oh, I just will throw an apple at you.
Who cares what ladies do, Lillian?
She scrunches up her nose and then takes one more leap into the air and catches hold of the branch.
Ha!
She scrambles up the branches and pokes her head back out to grin at you.
Are you coming or not?
Jump at the branch. You jump up toward the branch and manage to catch on.
Yes!
Just then your grasp on the branch starts to slip, threatening to send you crashing back to the ground, which is, 2 feet under you? You're like 6 years old. Shut up.
Lillian, take my hand.
Do it myself. You stretch your arm out, and she takes hold of your wrist.
I've got you.
She holds you steady as you scramble up into the tree to join her.
I wasn't going to let my little sister fall after all. Now, you aren't a proper lady either. Yes, I am. I'm going to be the most proper lady there ever was. Are you sure that's what you want? We could be rebels together, but only if you catch me.
She takes off into the branches, climbing higher and higher.
I can be a proper lady and climb trees. I can do it better than you.
You climb after her, shoes slipping on the branches. Amelia, Lillian, where are you? Young ladies, come out of the tree right this instant. Amelia laughs and turns to look at you and then holds out a pinky to you.
Even though we're 6 years apart, we'll be as thick as thieves forever. I promise I'll always be there for you. I will too, Emmy.
Wincroft Manor, present day. A lump catches in your throat as you put the locket away.
Oh, Amelia, we used to be so carefree. What did you get yourself involved in your final hours?
Return your attention back to the Viscount.
At times I felt so guilty. What did we miss? How could we have not sent her to a doctor sooner?
Come now, father. It is hardly your fault.
All I know is that we are being punished by losing another daughter.
The Viscountess clears her throat.
Now let's enjoy the rest of the dinner. We would honor her memory by cherishing our time together.
She turns to her right-hand side, ensuring the subject changes as everyone follows suit. Gemma winks at you as your eyes meet.
Why, hello again.
What was that all about? I know the topic of Amelia is somber, but I feel as though I'm missing something.
I suppose no one else has told you.
Lord and Lady Ashburn always wanted a daughter of their own. They gave birth to one after Frances, but she died in infancy due to illness.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry to hear that.
That was when they took in John, but I'm not sure they ever overcame the grief. So losing Amelia was like losing a second daughter.
Was she named Victoria?
Pause your sentence midway as the servants circle the dining table and collect everyone's plates in preparation for dessert. The Dowager Viscountess leans forward to address you.
Well, Miss Hayes, I had my doubts, but you've proven yourself a refined young woman, despite your Americanness.
What my mother-in-law means is to say is that you shall make a fine addition to the family, Miss Hayes.
Thank you, my ladies.
Come now, decorum is hardly the only mark of good character. Surely Miss Hayes has other traits worth mentioning.
Would you care to catalog them for us, cousin?
Gemma's eyes twinkled playfully as John clears his throat, looking flustered. I was merely suggesting a shift in priority. How about that dessert course? It looks heavenly.
It sounds like some dessert could do us good. I, for one, know how much I fancy sweets.
John exhales in relief. Francis raises an eyebrow at his brother, but says nothing more. After dessert, Lord Ashbourne pushes back his chair and nods towards his sons.
Gentlemen, shall we retire for our port and claret?
And the ladies and I shall return to the drawing room for coffee.
Can I go with the ladies for some coffee? Like, I could give a shit less about the alcohol the men are going to be drinking. I'm going with the ladies for the coffee. Listen, they have priorities. They know what they're doing in their lives. You begin to follow the ladies towards the fireplace, but Lady Gemma catches your arm and pulls you aside.
Games and drink for men and stuffy gossip for ladies. Wouldn't you rather do what the men do?
No, I want my coffee. Leave me the fuck alone. What do you mean?
I've got a flask of the finest scotch with me. We could sneak out of the hedge maze and have some fun.
I'm amazed the Dowager lets you get away with this kind of behavior.
Yes, well, you got away with a lot when your husband is dead, and you're disgustingly rich.
Okay. She speaks the words dryly, but you're unsure how much of the statement is true or jest. Should never be in jest.
That makes sense, although I'm not sure whether to laugh or cry. There's a cost to it all. They won't ever let me forget I'm a widow, the way they pushed eligible chaps at me left and right. I need a grand escape, at least for tonight.
What about the Dowager Viscountess? I don't want to lose her favor.
Oh, she's already made up her mind about you. Besides, we'll be back before you know it.
So, what do you say? Drink in the gardens with the Viscountess. Or lady, whatever.
I'll accompany you, Lady Gemma.
Gemma claps her hands together jovially.
Wonderful. Just follow me.
You follow Lady Gemma as she all but sprints through the gardens and into the entrance to the hedge maze.
Stay close. I'd hate for you to get lost and eaten by a minotaur.
Is that what you raise here in England? Curious choices. Gemma darts around a corner and you find yourself in an intersection unsure how to follow.
Lady Gemma.
You think you hear a giggle deeper in the hedge maze.
This is hardly fair. I've been betrayed and left for the minotaur already.
You hear the rustle of leaves to your left and a soft pattering sound on the ground to your right. You scramble around the corner to the right and see a quick flash of Gemma's hair turn around the corner.
Aha, got you.
You follow her footsteps, breaking into a sprint, until you reach a well and see Gemma leaning against it, pulling out a flask from her bodice and unscrewing it.
Oh, there you are. You didn't get lost, did you?
Certainly not the standard item for a young woman.
When I had the aid of your marvelous directions, certainly not. I am an expert navigator. Now for hydration.
You join her by the well as she takes a sip of her drink and then lets out a loud sigh.
Much better. I prefer the night sky to yet another dreary drawing room. Would you like a sip? It's top-notch double malt from my late husband's estate.
A sip of scotch? I'd go with sure, why not, but
all that sherry and watered-down wine might as well be turpentine.
Then you're drinking the wrong kind of wine. Gemma laughs heartedly and passes you the flask. You tip it towards her in a toast. Then take a swig before handing it back. The scotch burns blissfully down your throat.
Now that's the spirit, I knew we'd get along. I'm glad we got to get away. I love my family, but they suffocate me sometimes, making sure I'm playing the part of the perfect widow. We're already wearing corsets. We don't need to be squeezed further.
So you aren't very close with them? She takes a sip from the flask and shrugs.
I always love them, but the intimacy varies. How much? Like, with any family.
What's your relationship like with my sister, John Francis? I'm curious about the sister.
I only met her briefly when I was traveling, trying to expand my horizons with my ill-gained inheritance, you know. But she seemed lovely. She was more modern than the ladies here, although that isn't hard to accomplish. I'm very sorry for your loss.
And what about your husband? Should I be offering my condolences or congratulations on his death? She chokes on a startled laugh and then takes another drink, gaze turning wistful.
My marriage with Duke Thomas wasn't a love match. I tried to make it work, but it has almost been 5 years since his illness and death. I've had time to make my peace. Besides, it remains that being married to him afforded me a rare opportunity. I can't help but enjoy my prospects as a young dowager duchess.
I can't imagine anyone not falling in love with you. Well, at least you have your freedom now.
Precisely, and the financial security to do as I damn well please.
She leans towards you with a grin.
And since I outrank the Dowager Viscountess, even she can't criticize me too loudly. Try as she might.
Gemma takes another drink. You sit in companionable silence for a minute, admiring the starlight and cool night air.
I know I come off as rather flippant, but I can afford to be. I understand you aren't yet in such a position. Such circumstances are unfortunately the plight of our sex. If I could offer you one piece of advice, it would be to know your allies. Trust is hard won in Le Bon Ton. Thank you. I wish that wasn't the case, but I'll take your advice to heart. Now, no frowning. You are set for life. Few people in the world can make such a claim, and I hope you know that you can come to me for help, should you require it.
You smile and thank her and gaze up at the stars again, shoulder to shoulder, a curious warmth in your belly at forging a new friendship in this strange circumstance. Friendship, figuring you get to flirt with her all the damn time. Later, you start to return to your room after a long night. When Effie finds you and motions you aside, she leans close to speak in hushed tones.
I was able to do as you asked, Miss Lillian, and I did find something. Under a pillow, Mr. Francis had a notebook of love letters, poems, sketches, all of them clearly regarding Miss Amelia. Honestly, it was quite romantic. I didn't know he had it in him, the dear.
Most people underestimate a lot of guys.
Oh, that is most surprising. Not what I expected, but I appreciate you letting me know. Of course, Miss Lillian. I'm happy to help.
She hurries off, and you frown yourself, more confused than ever.
It seemed like you really did love her, then.
It wasn't just mutual beneficial arrangement between our families.
But people can do crazy things for love, and there's no guarantee Amelia loved him back.
Well, I mean, that's true. You continue the staircase, ready to finally lay your head down and rest, when you pass the butler and head housekeeper speaking in hushed tones behind a thick column.
Going around the way she did, as though she owned the place, saying whatever she liked with no respect for consequences.
Hush, Miss Watmore. I never approved of the dalliance, but don't speak ill of the dead that way, especially in the open like this.
Why shouldn't I, Mr. Barnes? We run the house so we can express how we feel in it. Besides, she got what she deserved.
I'm gonna smack the shit out of you, old woman. Your eyes widen as you see the look of smug satisfaction on Miss Watmore's face.
Are they talking about my sister?
Probably, yeah. Anyway, without further ado, thanks for watching. Much love and appreciation. Remember that if you did enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video and or the channel. Be greatly appreciated. Basically, I just want to grow the channel. That's it. It's my only hope. It's my only dream. It's my only goal right now. By doing so, it continues to unlock more and more benefits for all of us, especially you. Pretty much the more content and the more accessibility and things I have, the more I'm able to offer to each and every one of you. So far, I've done over 3,600 videos. I've been on this platform for, since Choices began, I've been doing Choices every single day, but also the fact that I've been doing this content and uploading and everything for 11 years. I literally am 1 year longer on this platform than Markiplier, because he just had his 10-year thing for YouTube. And so, you know, I've been here a very, very long time on this platform, uploading and trying to make sure that people are entertained, people enjoy the content, and people just, all in all, just enjoy things. And I've tried to build a community for the longest time. So remember that. Thanks again for watching. Much love and appreciation. Catch you all later. Peace out.